Hey everyone, thanks so much for coming back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another Project Pan update, and this is update number 6 for all of the usage that happened in the month of June. If you are new, welcome. Hi, my name is Sarah and I like to do beauty content, Project Pan, beauty box unboxings, and makeup tutorials and things like that. If you're not new, thanks so much for coming back and watching another of my videos. I know a lot of these updates have been super late being posted. I am still catching up from summer months and things like that. It just ended up being a lot busier than I thought it was going to be, but I'm getting there. So I'm still keeping track of all of my stuff and then posting when I have time. Today's video is an exciting one, so there are 3 rollouts, so let's go ahead and get started with the video. Before we get started into the products, like I said, a lot of these updates have been super late. Like, this is for June usage, and this video is going to go up in August. I have my clips. I'm editing the video for July usage, but yeah, it's been it's been a game of catch up. So let me know in the comments if you would rather see 1 month update at a time, or if you would rather I just combine both of them into one video. So tell me in the comments if you'd rather see 1 month of update or 2 months and then I get caught up. First up is my Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation in the shade 21P. So this rolled in technically at the beginning of May because I finished off my SheGlam foundation after like 6 uses. So early on in May this rolled in, and here's where it started. I think I estimated to the best of my ability at that light pink line. So the goal in this one is to finish it, and in May I used it 12 times, and then in the month of June I used it 16 times. That brings the total usage at the end of June to 28 total uses so far. Now I think with these lines, like the light pink was when it rolled in, the red was my best guess at the end of May, and then the medium pink is the end of June. Next is my Hourglass Vanish Concealer Mini in the shade Silk 2.5. It has been in the project since January. Now, of course, as the months progressed, the shade got to be lighter and lighter and lighter compared to my skin tone as I got more sun, and so the usage became a whole lot less. I also started just kind of dotting it in the very inner corners of my under eyes since I didn't need to use quite so much. Here's what it was looking like after my 19 uses in the month of May, and then here's what it was looking like after my 6 uses in the month of June. So again, not a ton of use, and as I'm even using it those 6 times, I'm not using very much of it at all. But there's still concealer coming out on the wand, so I'll keep going until it's empty. Next is my Marc Jacobs bronzer that rolled in at the end of April / beginning of May. So here's what it looked like at the roll-in. The goal on this one is 50 uses. I just want to expand the pan and see how far I get. And after my 18 uses in June, I have a total of 52 uses, and this is what it looks like. So that makes goal number 1 met for this update. Next is my Kaleido Cosmetics liquid highlighter in the shade Flare. This rolled in at the beginning of June, and the goal on this one is 30 uses. So in the month of June, I was able to use it 10 times, and here's what it was looking like after those 10 uses. So when I rolled this in, I think I had only ever swatched this product. I probably swatched it for my cheek inventory video and had never actually used it. But I am really enjoying this. I didn't think I would like a liquid highlight, but it blends out really, really nicely, and I'm liking this so much. Next is my Beauty Bakery Cotton Candy Champagne Palette, and this one rolled in May. The goal on this one is 40 uses, and I am working on the shade No Champagne, No Gain. So here's what it looked like when it rolled in, and then I used it 18 times in the month of May, and then In the month of June, I was able to use it another 18 times for a total of 36 uses. But after 35 uses, I hit pan on this blush. I figure 36 uses is close enough to 40, and I hit pan, so this is going to be my second rollout for this update. Next is my e.l.f. No Budge Shadow Stick in the shade Blue Steel. So this rolled in as my random single, and this product rolled in the month of April. So here's what it looked like when I started, and I used it a whopping 0 times in April. Then in the month of May, I used it 1 time, and then in the month of June, I used it 2 times. So we're sitting at a total of 3 uses so far. 5 is not a lot, but I don't use shadow sticks very often. So here we are, we're at 3 uses. Next is my Glamlite by Michaela eyeshadow in the shade Glow Up. So this rolled in as my random palette and chosen shade, and it rolled in the month of May. So I was able to use it 7 times in the month of May. So here's what it looked like after that. And then in the month of June, I used it 5 more times, but I hit pan on the 11th use. So I know 12 total is not as close to 20 as like on the blush 36 was to 40, but I hit a decent size pan, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll this one out. So this is goal number 3 that has been met for this update. Next is my Urban Decay Born to Run palette, and I'm working on the shade Guilt Trip. So this was my chosen palette and random shade, and the goal was 15 uses. So here's what it looked like when it rolled in the month of June. And in June, I only used it 2 times. Both times were as a liner shade, and so the dip that you're starting to see is pretty defined and pretty pointed in, in where I was picking up the shadow. With a goal of 15 uses, let's hope I can pick it up a little bit more in the next month's usage. Next is my Thrive Causemetics lip liner in the shade Gislin. This rolled in the month of May with a goal to use about half the lip liner. And that top line is where the lip liner started. In May, I was able to use it 15 times, and then in June, I was able to use it 17 times. So I got pretty close to my goal line. This one is for sure going to be rolled out after the next update, so it won't be long on this one. Next item is my MAC mini lipstick in the shade Super Smooch. This rolled in the month of March with a goal to use up about a quarter of this little mini lipstick. In March, I used it 8 times, and then in April, I used it 23 times, but only very lightly. Like I was just dabbing it on top of a much lighter lip color to kind of add a little bit of a rosy tone to the other lip color. So not a ton of movement, even though there was a lot of use. And then in May, I used it 7 times. Again, just to dab over the lighter color, so not a ton of movement. And then in June, this got used all of 1 time. Just 1 time. And again, dabbing over a lighter color. It is very, very, very close to the goal line, so I imagine this will be rolling out very soon. Like, it can't be long now. So my first roll in to replace my Marc Jacobs bronzer is my e.l.f. cream bronzer from this little duo in the shade Bronzed Pink Beige. So my goal for this one, since I don't typically use cream, bronzers, blushes, highlights, things like that, my goal for this one is 40 uses. and we'll see how far that gets me. With it being a cream product, like hitting pan doesn't seem to be too difficult because it moves around so much, but I do want to try and get the majority of this used up this summertime and then eventually throw the rest of it away, because I've had this since I think like 2019. So yeah, it needs to go. It's a good bronzer, but it's getting old. It's gotta go. Next, we're rolling in a random blush, and I rolled in the e.l.f. Bite Size Face Duo in the shade Pomegranate. So I really like this blush a lot. I have definitely used it before. Panned the highlighter, clearly took a chunk out of it with my nail. And then when I recorded this footage, I had used it once and hit those teeny tiny little pans that you see at the top. But anyway, we're gonna keep going. The goal on this one is 30 uses. I want to see how much of this I can use up in those 30. I might eventually be able to finish this. Next roll in is a random palette. So I rolled in the Makeup Revolution Reloaded Euphoria palette. So I actually bought this when I was in Houston visiting my bestie from high school, and he wanted me to do his makeup. So I bought this in a Target. We went in together, and that's why this is in my collection. It's got a lot of fun, bright colors. It worked out really well for our night out, and I've kept it around. So here are swatches of all of the shades without any flash. And then here are swatches of the shades with the flash on, so you can see some more reflection. I am going to work on the first shade in the bottom row, that purpley shade. It's really pretty. It's got a nice reflect on it. Easy to use for every day. It's going to go really well with that Urban Decay Guilt Trip shade. So I'm excited to work on this one. And the goal is 15 uses. Here are swatches of my new blush at the top, my 3 eyeshadows, that's Blue Steel, the Urban Decay Guilt Trip, and then the Makeup Revolution purple shade, and then my bronzer. So those are all of like the color products, except for that lipstick that is still in there. Okay, so that is it for this update number 6. I'm so excited about these 3 rollouts. I feel like I got a lot of good usage during the month of June, especially given that we were on a family cruise and it was summertime and I wasn't always wearing makeup and stuff like that. So I was very glad to still have 3 rollouts for the month of June. Again, let me know in the comments if you want to see a separate video for July and August, or if you would rather I just roll all of that into one video and I can update both months at the same time and post that at the beginning of September to kind of get back on schedule. So let me know in the comments what you prefer. That is gonna wrap it up for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.